Hi, this is Sarah from Align with Sarah. This month, our piece of wellness that we're exploring is the concept of balance. I have two more topics that I want to talk about for balance, so I'm going to put out two videos today, and that will wrap up our video content for September. The first topic I want to talk about is what comes to mind, comes to your mind. What is the image? What is the concept that comes to mind when you hear the word balance, when we start to talk about balance? What is it that comes up? And in doing the workshops and work with clients this month and asking them that question, what comes up? It's so interesting the wide variety of experiences that happen in people's mind when we're talking about the same word. So we all have our own definition of anything, including concepts like balance, including concepts like wellness, which is why this series is being put together to touch in on some aspects of that, to bring together maybe some new ideas of what wellness includes. And I want to talk about some of those ideas. So people have mentioned the tightrope, like walking on a tightrope, finding balance. People have mentioned falling off a cliff. People have mentioned like this image of teetering on the edge and having balance to not fall over. A full plate. So balancing that full plate. I have been in the restaurant industry. So, I know that that stress of, all this stuff, how are you going to hold it? How are you going to go through that doorway? How are you going to do whatever, putting it down, picking it up? There's all kinds of thoughts that run through my head. And and then my image that has showed up, which not very many people have connected to that other than after I've talked about it, is those um, I don't know how to say it, cairns that are those stacks of rocks that are on hiking trails, or a lot of times in this area they'll be in waterways because we have a lot of flat rock. Um, and they're, these beautiful statues of either just basically stack stones or balance stones that are on some crazy concept of why one of them would be on the other one, a little bit of craziness, but the stacked stone thing comes to my mind. And I've done this with a few people, and I'm going to invite this for you to explore this if you choose to. Um, that image that comes to your mind, or maybe there's not an image yet, but spend a moment and let an image come and see how it feels to think about stones, or to think about a yoga pose, or to think about um, the walking on a path, or that heavy uh, server's tray, platter, whatever, two hands, one hand, however you're holding it. Think about what that image is, because it's very representative of your inner belief systems of what balance means to you. So kind of looking at it from this other end. So this stacks of stones comes to my mind, and exploring that very regularly. The theme of complicated shows up in my life, and it does not surprise me that when I think of this concept of balance, this complicated experience shows up, where the image in my mind is similar to the image that I have put up for the workshop flyers, and I'll include it in this thumbnail slide for this video, or title slide, or whatever it's called, where there's a stack of stones, and then it kind of like there's like a big flat stone and then other stones, and it's complicated, and that so many things in my life are just so complicated, and I accept that. I live on that. I overdose on responsibility for whatever reason, and I manifest complicated, um, and I see this balance. So each one of those stones has to be exactly where it's supposed to be, and it can create something very beautiful. But if there is a stone that shifts just a little bit, like this way, that way, back, forth, round, whatever, then the whole thing can come tumbling down. And all moving parts are, then become very moving. I guess they're not moving parts. All contributing parts If one of them shifts a little bit, it throws the whole thing off. And that stacked and that alignment is very gentle. It's very complicated to keep. And, it requires this energy to establish and to create. So, in my mind, this backstory of my experience with, or my thoughts of balance, which are based on my experiences, is that it's this very fine line. It takes a lot of effort to have balance in my life. And are those things true? I'm creating them. I'm making them true because I believe them. I'm living that. And looking at that, I can come behind that thinking and wonder, well, why is that? What's in my past that has proven that to me? What in my past have I counted on for, that expectation? Because the more I live that, the more that's just in my automatic um, motions through life, not thinking about that. My subconscious mind is taking care of all of that, looking for that proof, manifesting those things. They're going to keep manifesting. And when I'm ready to look for a new definition of balance, and that it doesn't have to be that complicated. I could still have a stack of stones, but they could just be, big, smaller, 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 smallest, smallest. It could be a lot more simple. It could be a lot less complicated, and it could be a lot less fragile. It could be a lot more functional and sturdy. Um, so that's one video, that's one thought that I wanted to share again about balance. So what's that image that comes to mind? And what can that tell you? What can that teach you about what you already believe about balance, in case you want to change that and make it more functional for you? So thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you again really soon because I'm going to get ready to do this next video here in just a moment. All right, thank you.